Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Writing with Dice podcast, the podcast where we write the outline for a new movie every single week using our patented Dice Writer game. And I still hate that we call it that.
The Dice Writer game. It is considered one of the best technologies of our time in terms of creative endeavors.
Completely true.
It's
Completely
known
true.
that the last 5 Aaron Sorkin films have all been written using this technique. So
That's absolutely 100% true. That's 100% true. I don't know. If I
don't
said,
fact check it, but it's true.
Just trust us. Just take our word for it. I'm Colin. I'm joined by Liberty. How are you doing today,
yes.
Lib? How are you doing today?
I am doing good. I am very tired, and my wonderful girlfriend's making me a tea. So everything's pretty good.
Absolutely adorable. All right, given that one of the problems that we had last week was that we basically ran out of time way too quick, I think we should basically absolutely just jump right in. How does that sound?
I agree. Let's hop right into it. To quickly go over the rules, we're going to be outlining a film and then once we get the outline, we're going to go in and try and hit all the plot points. We got a little dice rating game that we're going to use to get through it, which basically we randomize rolls and all that stuff, and at the very end, we throw a bunch of wild cards that are really going to screw up everything.
Yes, we got a lot. We changed up the game slightly from last week, and that's one thing that we're going to be doing a lot moving forward, is we're going to be slightly changing the game up, adding things, taking things away to keep things a bit more timely and keep things running smoothly. We're always going to be mixing it up. Okay, so exactly. the first thing we got to do is we got to roll d6, and that'll decide if we pick our genre now, or if we're kind of screwed and we have to pick the genre at the end, which could completely screw with us. So, first thing we gotta do, decide, are we doing it? Okay, so first we gotta roll a d6.
Yep.
Gotta roll it, and it is a 6. So that means...
Even, so that means we get to go with the genre now.
Oh, thank God. Thank
yes.
God.
That is always the worst. I know that we've done stuff like this before. And before, I think we made an entire revenge story, and then we had to do the genre, and it was a musical.
yes, that happened, and it kind of screwed with us, but we made it work. We did our best.
It's about adapting. All right, so let's look at our genres. We got to roll a d12 or a d6 first. If it's even, we get 1 genre. If it's odd, we get 2 genres. We're hoping for 2 genres. It's always more fun.
Yes, always. All right, our first roll is a 1.
And that's odd. We got 2 genres.
Right, 2 genres. Sick.
Let's go.
Okay.
Even worse. All right. D12, and then we're going to get into what the genres are.
All right. D12. The first one is 5. And what is 5?
It's an action. An action.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
We get to whenever we're in doubt of where the plot needs to go, we just add a gunfight.
We blow stuff up. I say we go Fast and Furious route, and we got to focus on the stunts, and then we'll make the rest of the movie around the stupid ass stunts that we got.
Absolutely. I'm 100% down. So, hold on. Roll a second for the second genre?
Yep, for the second genre, it's an action slash.
1. What is 1?
Action comedy. Wow, that's a really good one.
Lovely. There you go. We just got to do fucking car chases, gunfights, and dick and fart jokes for 2 hours. Great.
Dick and fart jokes, exactly.
Because that's the height of all comedy, dick and fart jokes. We have an action comedy. Okay. So, we got an action comedy on our hands, and the next step is we got to roll 1d20 for our first wild card. Last week we didn't get to the wild cards until the very end, but here I think it's going to help that we sprinkle them throughout.
Yes.
So, our first wild card, we got to roll 1d20. It is 6. What's 6?
So our first wild card, the first thing we're going to be throwing into the script is that there's an over-the-top plot twist, which, again, action comedy very so much suits.
Yes.
Now, usually with an over-the-top plot twist, it's over the top, but it tends to make sense.
Yeah.
Action comedies are going to throw that out the window. Most of them that you see, it's like Hot Fuzz's plot twist was fucking perfect, but it was just made no sense it didn't fit along with the rest of the story, and that's what made it so good, was that it was like, oh no, it's not what you think it is. It's the fuck, they pull the curtain out from underneath you. So I think that maybe we go in that route, maybe.
Exactly. And going in the other direction of really bad action movies. I'm thinking of all the bad action movies that have come out that just have the big bad is fucking the old lady from down the hall. Oh no, the love interest, who makes no sense to be bad whatsoever, is actually the main villain, like puppeteering everyone. And just comes out of nowhere, makes no sense, but but we'd like it anyways because it's a shit action movie.
So we're gonna go with like the actual movies that try to be deep, and it's like, oh, it's not who you think it is. It's your girlfriend, and it's like,
Really?
they've been with her the entire movie.
That makes
When did she
zero
have time
sense.
to do this?
She's just been like texting on the phone the entire time. Like, okay.
Yeah, getting her henchmen to do shit. Alrighty, so we kind of got that going.
Okay.
Obviously, over top plot twist works with what we're going with, so it's pretty smooth altogether right now.
Yes. Okay, so now we gotta roll a d6. If even step 4 applies to the protagonist, if 5 steps to the antagonist. So this is how we're gonna build our characters, because we gotta have the protagonist and the antagonist. So we're gonna roll a d6 and see if the first character we gotta build is protagonist or antagonist. It is odd. So we gotta build our antagonist first. We gotta build our big bad. We gotta build our big
Alrighty,
bad.
well, action comedy, I'm thinking that we'd rather do a plot twist for the antagonist, or the antagonist is going to be absurdly like over the top. Like we're making like some like fucking Doctor Doom ass shit, you know what I mean?
Are we talking Doctor Doom from the original Fantastic Four movies? Are we talking Doctor Doom from Fantastic? Or are we talking how Doctor Doom should be? Like what were you...
Okay, well, how Doctor Doom should be would be awesome, so we're not going to do that. We're doing...
That would be too
I think we're
genuinely
doing
good.
the originals. We're not doing Fan4Stick, but we're going to be doing the originals, I think.
Alright, I'm into it. So here we have our positive and our negative character traits. We gotta roll d12s, and for whatever reason, I just realized that the way I had this formatted is cutting it off at 10. I'm only just realizing that now. So, hold on.
What do you mean?
It's cutting it off. You can only see down to 10. You can only see 10 character traits.
Oh.
Yes, so I'm just going to, hold on, just open it up in Word. Hold on.
Dude, our show's actually having no problem.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, not at all.
Extremely unlikely.
Hold on. I can bring it up just real quick. Da-da-da, and there we go. It works. Perfect. Everything's fine. Hold on, wait for it. Bring it up there. Okay. And there we go. So, the positive character traits that we get to decide for first are generous, patient, adventurous. Here, we got our 12 there.
Gotcha.
Okay. Wait, what's the... sorry, I'm going between windows here. I got like 8 windows open on the one screen in front of me.
Alrighty, so we got that we're doing the antagonist. So what we're going to do first is we're going to roll a d12. It's going to give us 2 positive traits, and then we're going to get 2 negative traits doing the exact same thing. From there, we kind of mold the character. I guess from there, looking at the traits, we can decide if we want to do a really big bad or if we want to do a plot twist.
Yes.
Could be either or. But once we get that done, we're kind of going to mold our protagonist with that. So these are going to be very generic molds because once we get the setting, we're going to be able to think about, you know, occupation, what they're doing, all that stuff. This is just going to be borderline like what the character arcs are going to be.
Yes, so we got to roll 2 d12s for our antagonist. The first roll is 9.
9. So a pro of the antagonist is that he's witty, which makes
witty?
sense.
Perfect.
Action comedy.
That always makes for a good villain. Someone's witty, someone's quipping up those quick one-liners for a bad action comedy movie. It makes absolute sense. And
so, but with that saying, though, it means usually witty villain is a little bit of self-awareness in the film. That it's kind of going to be a little goofy and stupid. If this movie wasn't aware of how it was if it was trying to be too action, not enough comedy, then I feel like the villain wouldn't be witty. They would be like, you know, just like, I'm way too cool. My name's Renegade Steve, and I hate the government.
I'm blowing shit up because reasons that have to do with the protagonist.
Because personal reasons.
Yeah, this guy's
now we could. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, you go ahead.
I was gonna say we could, with that self-awareness, the wittiness comes from an over-the-top dryness. You know, like a character who's trying too hard to be cool, and that's witty. Or we could go more directly, like they crack jokes and stuff like that.
I feel like we have the character trait being witty. I feel like we gotta be honest to that. We gotta have them be actually witty.
Yeah, they gotta crack jokes. They gotta be funny. Let's look at another positive trait before we start.
Another positive trait. Let's rolling a 3. We got a 3. What's a 3?
Adventurous.
Adventurous. Okay, so they're adventurous, they're witty, they're kind of going out there, they're trying new things. Whatever ground the antagonist is trying to cover, it's new to them as well. You know, they're here trying to maybe they're learning about themselves. Okay, they're seeing this as like a vacation. It's a spirit journey.
Idea with this, we could do the antagonist doesn't even know he's the antagonist of the film. He could have a path unrelated to the protagonist, and he's this adventurous, funny guy. He's living his own life, doing this stuff. He doesn't realize that he's, for whatever reason, it's messing with. Maybe directly it is a bad thing that he's causing, or maybe it's just a protagonist overreaction of something that somebody's doing.
That would be funny. That would be funny. But keep in mind, this is an action movie. So what kind of journey would an antagonist have like that would keep them in gunfights with the protagonist?
Yeah, now I'm thinking sort of already for a vibe with adventurous and witty as an antagonist that's sort of got that Nathan Drake ass vibe, you know, like a adventurous. They're trying to do something that's against the protagonist because maybe the protagonist wants something the antagonist wants. They're both adventurous on reaching out to try and get that.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So they aren't like really fighting each other. They're both fighting for a common goal.
Exactly, but the common goal only benefits one of them, so it's two sides.
Okay, that is a really good way of looking at it. That is absolutely the way we should go.
All right. I like that. I like this. Let's get into some cons of this antagonist stuff.
So the first negative character trait is 11. What's 11?
And 11 is...
What is 11? They're a loner.
A loner?
Loner.
Okay.
So this person is going it alone. The thing is, the antagonist is that they're going it completely solo. They aren't trying to work well with others. This is a completely alone thing that they're trying to do. And maybe we would have the protagonist to do something kind of different, where they're on a team or they're working well with other people going forward.
So I agree with that. I do like that idea. One character that comes to mind about witty, sort of adventurous, but a loner is kind of the Joker. Now, I don't know we need to go a Joker route, but the Joker's whole thing is kind of like he's friends with Batman because he's lonely. He doesn't have anything else going on.
That's true. I don't know if I would define the Joker as
maybe not Joker, but it could be a relation. He has a relationship with the protagonist. Like, I kind of need this back and forth we have because I don't really have a whole lot going on. Like, I'm kind of sad. I don't have friends.
I don't know.
So with that, it could be an antagonist learning his lesson, becoming a better person in the end. Could be, or maybe he doubles down.
So it's a mutually beneficial relationship in some ways. So the antagonist isn't really the main antagonist. Of course, the antagonist is more of like a rival for the protagonist to go to fight with. Okay, I'm into that. No, but we gotta see the second negative trait. What are they like? 12. They are selfish.
That adds up.
That really adds up.
Selfish plays into the idea of a treasure or something that's beneficial to a single person and him being... But that even goes into loner as well, though, because maybe he doesn't work with the team because he wants it for himself. So already an idea is like, there's this crown jewel... There's like a team of the good guy team is trying to bring it back to the queen or some shit.
Back to the queen.
It's not even that good, but this is just their mission. And then the loner selfish is just a well-off dude who's funny, but he doesn't have friends, and he just wants it for himself because he wants the glory, he wants the fame, he wants the money. Like,
I can get it. I like having that kind of relationship. Them going after a common goal, whether it be a jewel or some kind of competition, some kind of fighting thing, some kind of adventure they both have to go on, but separately.
Then part of the over-the-top plot twist could be maybe the value of that thing is not what it seems. Maybe it's not as priceless. Maybe it's 10 times more priceless than we thought. That could play into it with this item being like, the big plot item. Or
the big MacGuffin. Basically.
Yeah, the MacGuffin. They're both after the MacGuffin. Maybe the MacGuffin isn't what it seemed. That's a really easy way to... Like, this is just very much like an adventurer Indiana Jones story. but I mean, any adventure after a thing story is just an Indiana Jones story after
Okay.
after all these.
Okay. And antagonist vying for a common goal is working with people. Antagonist is a loner. Okay, I'm into that.
So I know we say we like to mold the protagonist based off of the antagonist.
Yeah.
But I suggest that we roll a couple of traits for the protagonist, because I think with this antagonist kind of leaves it open to what this protagonist could be like.
That's true.
Because easily we could say it's an adventurous, witty person as well, but maybe they're impatient and like deceptive. Like he's like, he's not a loner, but like you could do that. But I think it'd be more fun if we kind of rolled up the stats and see what this, because I think a character with a little bit more depth than just being a copy of the antagonist would be, because both after a common goal they're gonna have similar traits. I say we mix it up a little bit. What's your thought?
I'm totally down. Do you want to just roll like one positive and one negative for our protagonist?
We'll go one positive, one negative, and then mold the rest around that.
Okay, sounds good. So the first positive we have for our protagonist is 1, which is
generous.
Okay, so they're a very generous person. They're very giving. So whatever goal they have to have, they want to be able to give it up later. So I think
their goal would not be selfish. Their goal would not be for personal gain.
Yes. So like you brought up you spitballed the idea of a jewel. What if their idea is to literally take the jewel, sell it to give money to charity, or give it to a local government or the third world country, so they can have money and they can like kickstart their economy or something like that.
Okay. What I was like, I like that, and what I was thinking is perhaps we could go maybe a little mystical, like he's working for like somebody in the like whatever setting. It's like we haven't had rain in months, like we've had this crazy drought. And the thought behind the drought is there's been the whatever has been misplaced and it's been put here, whatever. He's just like, I'll go return it. He's like, I don't know if it's going to help the rain or not, but and then that could play into like the over the top plot or something like that. And then the whoever's trying to steal it just wants it for money, or for like maybe they're profiting off of the drought. I don't know how.
Okay, I'm into it. I'm absolutely into it. Maybe they just don't care about the drought and they're just trying to like find the jewel to be like, hey, big jewel, I sell, make big money, ha ha ha.
Exactly. It doesn't need to be crazy depth. He's a selfish person. He wants to take things in this. Yeah. This would be a situation. Okay, yeah. Like so that. With generous though, what would it be? I feel like adventurous is kind of a given. He is like the protagonist would be adventurous as well. He'd be willing to go on adventures.
Yeah.
What if
it was reluctant and they were the only person able to do it? Like all the actual like big adventurers, the tough guys are all like off to war or something like that, and he's like one of the few people left who can actually go on this thing. Yeah, that could that's what I was thinking too, is like he's generous so he would do it, but maybe he's not adventurous. He doesn't like the reluctant hero is a very common trope, so we could kind of go down that road if we really wanted to. Okay. I think right now we need to roll for the negative character trait for our protagonist. All right. The negative one, it is a 1. They're lazy. So lazy. So that plays into it. They're a very reluctant. They're a very reluctantly joining this. They don't want to be there. He's a good person, but he's lazy. Think about like kind of a couch potato, doesn't try too hard at his jobs and stuff. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, he's a good person. He's helpful. He wants to help people and stuff. It's just he lacks the motivation to do so a lot of the time. Yes, that makes a lot of sense. So it's kind of reluctantly like, okay, I'll do this because I'm the only person who can, and it's kind of like. This person going on the adventure, the protagonist going on the adventure to find the jewel or the MacGuffin, is kind of the B team, the D team even going out there. It's like, shit, we have no one else but this dude who's willing to help, but fuck, he's kind of not really trustworthy.
We could do like the other guys, you know, where the two are like, you think what I'm thinking, aim for the bush, and then it's like,
there
well,
goes
the
my
A-team's
hero,
gone.
splat. Yeah. Okay, we can do that.
I think going with lazy would also be impatient, but not impatient in the sense that he's raring to do things, but he just doesn't like waiting. If a trap requires him to wait for, 15 minutes before he can actually pass, he's like, I'm just gonna go through. What's the worst that can happen,
Okay.
I don't feel as though he would be very deceptive because he's generous. So I think he'd be a pretty person. I think he'd be kind of witty too. He'd be like a funny person. He'd be maybe not witty, more funny than actually witty. Like he wouldn't have intellectual jokes. He would just be kind of like a funny dude. Like I'm thinking like Seth Rogen vibes or something like that.
Why did I just get big vibes of, what was that medieval movie they did? It was like Jonah Hill and James Franco and like Natalie Portman. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I don't know. I have no idea what
Your
you're talking
Highness,
about.
Your Highness. It was a medieval movie they did where it was just like stoner jokes, but it was set in the fucking like 13th century or something, and it was just the fact that you don't remember it is not surprising to me. Let's say that.
Motivated, kind of goofy dude, but he's a good dude.
Yes.
So morally good dude who's goofy and lazy versus a like witty but alone gritty person, basically, is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Two sides of a coin. You got the greedy and you got the generous.
Exactly, and that's always kind of the main thing that a protagonist and antagonist should be, is two sides of the same coin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one we got is we got to roll another d20 for a wild card. Yay!
Woohoo!
We're gonna see how we're getting completely fucked with.
Yeah, we got a cool, kind of decent story going on now. Let's completely fuck it up.
All right, rolling a 15.
15 is at a training montage. All right.
It works perfectly. It literally works perfectly. That's got to be like at the start of the movie, right after the inciting incident. Like whatever. Oh shit! I gotta go on this big fucking adventure. I better do some sit-ups. I better do some squats. I better do some push-ups. And it's just like, so it's like a little motivating thing of like, okay, I gotta do this. I'm gonna do this right. Let's get fucking jacked, bro. Let's do it.
And it doesn't even need to be a good training montage. We can just fuck it up and be about how miserable he is at everything.
Yeah, exactly. He's just trying to get fit, and then just like his trainer's like, wait a minute, where the hell did he go? And he goes outside. He's just like smoking a joint. Like, leave me alone. This is my.
We could even you could do they're like, all right, before we get on this mission, you need to be able to do one pull up, and he's like, I'm not doing a pull. He's like, you got to do one pull up, and then you're good to go. And then he can't do the pull-up, and they're like, all right, we got to train. And they do a full training montage, and they're like, all right, now's your time, bud. And then he still can't do the pull-up, and he's like, we're running out of time. Let's just fucking go.
And then at the end of the movie, it's like the very final climax. He's got to get up to the thing. Like the MacGuffin is right there. It's right where he can like almost reach it, but he's sitting there like this on a bar, and he's like, shit. And he's just got to do one pull-up. So it's got to come full circle. We got to have it. We gotta have him be able to do the pull-up at the very end.
I like that. I do like that. Or maybe it's not even about the MacGuffin. Maybe he's got to save somebody by pulling that. Or he's got to pull himself up to save them or something like that. And this is when he does it. Because I feel like it's got to end on a positive note. We can't just kill everybody.
No.
Can't just Infinity War this bitch. We already Infinity War the movie.
I know we Infinity War last week. Fuck. Okay. So I like
that. The training montage really works, and it plays into the comedy sense of it.
Absolutely. And the next one, we gotta roll a d20 for the protagonist motivation. So this could kind of fuck with this. If we don't get the right one here, we could get our whole idea of finding the MacGuffin and all that could really get screwed.
Yes.
We might lose this. So gotta roll a d20. Hold on, just let me get the right screen up. Roll a d20, and it is 4.
Survival?
Oh shit. Okay. So really, they're not. Our whole MacGuffin thing is kind of screwed now because now the antagonist has to be doing something that is straight up threatening the life of the protagonist.
I don't want to infringe on our improv abilities, but we do have a mulligan, which I think we're gonna decide from now on is we get one mulligan per show.
Yes. Do we want to use? Because I feel like we can write our way out of this one. But,
You think so?
but there are some wild cards that might screw us over later. I feel like we should save it.
Oh, I love the wild cards. All right, I think we can too.
Okay.
I'm just thinking about. Okay, what's your thoughts?
Idea. What if the MacGuffin or the thing that they are going for is directly related to the survival of the protagonist? It's some kind of magic thing, like it's your example of the gem that'll bring the rain or whatever. Like, it's a fucking drought. The whole village is fucking starving, dying. And if they don't do it, his village is gonna starve because they don't have food. They're not gonna be able to grow food.
That plays into the generosity too, is that he wants to help everybody, not just himself in the village.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we could do survival. What if we did? I think it'd be funny. Like, it's like an apocalypse gem, and it's like prophesized that if like this gem isn't returned to this place or whatever, the world will end. And he's just like, "Is this a real thing?" And then the whole town's like, "Oh yeah, it's a real thing." And he's like, "What? No one ever talks about it." And they're like, "Well, we didn't really need to until right now."
Okay.
So then, it's kind of like he's the only hero that can do it because all the other heroes are gone. I don't know how the antagonist would tie into that though.
The antagonist doesn't want it, or the antagonist owned it. So it's like an apocalypse gem or totem or whatever that has to go back to where it was, fucking back to the Indian burial ground or whatever. And he's the guy who owns it. He's the billionaire. He's the super rich guy who has like, no, this is my gem. It's my big ass ring. I've looked fly on this thing. I can't fly. It's the thing. This thing's dope as fuck. I can't get rid of it. But the whole village is like, fuck you. We're taking it, and we're having the buddy here walk it back to the ritual place.
I like that too, because I think like you could play into like it's like, dude, what about when the world's end? What are you gonna do? And he's like, oh, I already got like 2 houses up on Mars. And they're like, what? He's like, dude, all rich people live on Mars, like have houses. Did you not know that? Like, Elon Musk set up a company, like a colony, like years ago, dude.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah. Oh shit, that's gonna work great because our next one is deciding our setting. So this could be like an ancient times, but a totem ritual thing. This could be futuristic, where it's a science thing that they have to get back somewhere. We got to decide our setting now. So we're gonna roll a d6, and we have got a 3. 3. This plot
middle of nowhere.
Middle of nowhere. Fuck. Okay, so middle of nowhere. I kind of wrote to be vague. It could be out in the wilderness. It could be out in the middle. It could be in the middle of the ocean. It could be in the fucking mountains. Basically, it has to be like a very isolated place. Like any isolated place. We don't. That one's kind of our easygoing one. We can play it very fast and loose with this. So
I don't know. I like the idea. Maybe we don't have to go full futuristic, but I like the idea of wherever this place is, it's like a really small place that, needs help from this guy. And then there's a big rich or well-off person that is, making the town worse by their actions. So I'm not sure what we would do with that.
Okay, there's a few routes we could go. I feel like now we have to kind of decide if we're going... Because there's 2 ways that we can make this MacGuffin work. We can have this MacGuffin work for magic. It's some kind of ancient ritual, totem, gemstone, magic, whatever. Or it's in the future, and we have to have... The thing that immediately came to my head was like, middle of nowhere, what if they're a fucking colony on another planet? But they're the only ones there. And there's only one place that they can go to be able to go communicate with, like, fucking the nearest other planet. So that would be the place that they have to go to. And the MacGuffin is basically just like a message they have to send at that place. So the place they're both trying to go to is the fucking space post office or some shit.
Yeah. So then why would the antagonist be against them then?
Maybe the antagonist doesn't believe that they're in imminent danger? For some reason they're profiting off of the town. Like, what if the town has basically turned into slave labor working under that guy? And that's the message they have to get out. We could go that, which feels a little convoluted, or we could just go fucking say it's a village in the mountains and they have to go return the rainstone. It just magic this shit up.
I think both ways, if you did like a village in the mountains, it still would be hard to maybe just...
You froze. Oh.
Sorry, what was that?
Okay, sorry, you froze. You said both ways?
Oh, okay, sorry. Both ways, the question is why is the antagonist like different from the protagonist in what they want? And I like the future colony one, but I feel like maybe the sending a message isn't the way to go.
Yeah, it's kind of a weak MacGuffin, because as soon as we go futuristic, it's like technology. Oh, fucking cell phone. Call someone like, hey, this shit's fucked up. Come help us. But if we make it go in the past, everything is a lot more isolated.
Yeah, that's true. The one thought I had too, it's a little bit... Oh no, but it is an action comedy, so we needed set pieces. So going like a niche smaller is less important because we need cool set pieces and stuff. So that's the thing too, is that the past offers less cool set pieces than a future would, though. Because a future you can fight robots, so you can kill stuff without feeling bad.
I feel like, okay, if we're going past, we're going kind of fantasy with it. We could have fucking zombies along the road. We could have like giant spiders, cave trolls. Just like pick any fucking random Skyrim villain, Draugr, fucking dragons, whatever we want. Because if we're going past, we're going fantasy. So that adds any number of
I like
pieces.
that. I actually like that then. Then like a magical stone or something. I like that, and then maybe like a... I think it'd be funny, and I think it would work in an action comedy, is if this like it's like an archmage or something who stole the stone that's gonna save the world or whatever like that. And when asked why he did it, he's like, like, I'm going to be the most powerful wizard in the world. And they're like, that's not how the stone works. He's like, yeah, I know, but like, they're like, did you just do this because you're bored? And he's like, no, I got stuff going on. He's like, dude, you're bored. You wanted a villain. You wanted to be the villain, and you wanted a hero. And he's like, maybe. I think it could be like a turning point. It's like, dude, you could be a good mage and stuff. You don't have to be the evil mage. It's like kind of like opening him up as a person. Like, you don't have to be the bad guy.
He's like, everyone pushes me away. And it's like, dude, come on, I'm sorry.
Well, dude, you call yourself the Archmage and you shoot lightnings out of your hands. Like, that doesn't set a good first impression, bud. Like, come on.
All right, okay, we can do that. And
I think that would play into our protagonist being less like strong and like he's a generous good person, so he could be a little bit more like, hey man, it's okay. We don't need to fight. We don't need to. I think still have some action set pieces, but I think that would be like a kind of a funny plot twist, is that he's not an all powerful Archmage. He's a lonely dude who wants friends.
Okay, we can do that. So that would be more for our antagonist to do. So are we settling into the idea of returning the fucking apocalypse gem, whatever it is, to where it needs to go?
Mm-hmm.
We're settling into that? Okay. Plot. Protagonist has to return the apocalypse gem to its rightful place as wrath is being unleashed against the village where he lives.
Yeah, that's a really easy way to do it. So we could go deep lore, maybe the goddess of the underworld as a temple, but the seal to the temple is a stone. So then the underworld's been
Oh.
opened.
Oh,
Demons and
okay.
shit are coming out. And it's like within 7 days of the underworld being opened, the goddess herself will come to the mortal plane and fuck shit up. So it's like we need to close this shit before she gets here.
That is really good because having like a timer, having a countdown that they have to fight against is going to be good. It's going to be a great constant plot driver. It's going to be something keeping the motivation, keeping the plot kind of quick because like they can't just stop for tea and just like, oh fuck, the villain kicked our ass. I guess we're just going to chill for a couple days. If they can't do that, they got to keep going. It keeps the plot moving, keeps everyone engaged. I'm into that. 4B.
Alrighty, so medieval times. It's a small village, but for whatever reason, this village is right by the Temple of Death, and people acknowledge that that's a bad idea. They're like, "Well, we've been here for years, though. Like, you know, my roots are here. I got a house here, so can't really move."
Underworld unleashed upon the village. Okay, so there we go. We have our main plot. As long as it doesn't get fucked up by our next two wild cards.
Our lovely wild cards that love to mess everything up.
Okay, we got two of them here to go with. Shit. Okay.
All right.
Okay. The next two wild cards. What do we got? 9. You have 9.
9.
Which is...
Protagonist reveals dark truth about themselves
Oh.
late in the script.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Okay. So what made them lazy? Okay, what were you thinking? What were you thinking?
I don't know.
Sounded like you had a good idea.
I think dark truth immediately I thought is that somehow he's tied to the god of death or whatever. Like he's like a demigod or something like that. Maybe he's like, oh, I just want the stone so that nobody can put it back. Like I'm doing my mom's bidding.
Okay,
right
I'm
now.
gonna tie in what you just said with what I was thinking. So we have our protagonist is lazy, like they are a tremendously lazy person. What if they aren't actually lazy? What if they're just avoiding fighting for a reason? Because they used to fight. They used to be the right-hand man of the goddess of the underworld, and used to slaughter humans by the 1,000.
Oh,
So he doesn't want to fight anymore. He's like, I've killed so many fucking people. I just want to chill for the rest of my life.
He's just like, I know that I have to do this to save the land because I have to stop her. But like, I'm so tired of dealing with her shit.
Yes.
Like maybe what if he has like a kind of funny, strained relationship with her? Like she's like an overbearing manager to him. He's like, I know, like I'm not gonna deal. And then maybe they have an interaction at the end when he's finally sealing the gates or something like that. But like, I like that. Like he's tied to her, but he's past that. It's not like a reveal. Like I'm the bad guy. It's like okay, I was once an awful person, but like I don't want to do that no more. I want to leave it alone.
I'm into it. Okay, I one other detail that I want to add about our protagonist. What if they're old? What if the reason why they are like the D team is our protagonist is like in his 70s? It's like old man Logan, left behind in the village, and now he's the last fucking one to go out to fight. He's like an old man.
And like, he's only been selected because one of the elders knew that he was once an adventurer or something like that. He's like, I ain't done that shit in forever. He's like,
okay,
I've been adventured in a long ass. Like it's, but that's the thing. We know he's an old adventurer. We don't know that he was a evil paladin of death. But you know.
Yep. Right hand man.
And that could be. Yeah, I like that.
I keep doing typos on this, and it doesn't look good. The right-hand man of the goddess of death. So, is that our over-the-top plot twist?
I think so. I think so, too. That's a dark truth, and it's over-top plot twist. I think that also part of why he is able to adventure at such an old age is that he's actually like 300 years old. He's like, dude, I worked for death. I've been tainted with the gift of life. He's like, I'm gonna live to like I'm 2,000. He's like, but I don't want to do it killing people because I already did that for 200 years. I'm bored of it, or not bored, but he's like, I want to be a good person now. I'm working on it.
I'm into it. That works. That works a lot. That
we
works
could
really
play
well.
into maybe we play into this darkness by having moments of him just fucking people up when he needs to, and they're just like, where the hell did that come from, old man? He's like, I don't know. I got a little mad. I'm sorry.
I mean, I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. So
that's another plot twist, is that he's still got it. He looks old, but he does still got it.
Yes.
He's just lazy because he doesn't want to bring out that side of him again.
Yes, and the whole training montage works well too, because instead of him like actually having to train, it's him just being fucking old and not being able to move the way he used to. Like he's trying he's trying to run, he's trying to lift all the shit, he's trying to swing a sword like he used to. He just can't. It's not how he is anymore.
Part of the growth, part of why he doesn't grow in the training montage, isn't because of lack of trying or a lack of like actual progress. It's because he doesn't want to grow.
Yes,
because he's comfortable where he's being, and he knows that on his own he could probably get the stone back in the 7 days or whatever. But he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to fight people. That's an old part of his life, and he doesn't want to try to do it. But then he gets pushed into when he has to, and this old man starts suddenly doing things that we didn't think he was possible of doing.
Yeah.
So I think that it's kind of part of the twist is that he actually is powerful. He just hasn't been trying specifically because he doesn't want to. He doesn't like tapping into that power of his old self.
That makes a lot of sense, and I like it. I like it a lot.
Okay.
And so now I think we need our one more wild card. One more wild card. We are rolling. It is a 13. It is a 13. What's 13?
13 is chat decides.
Ooh. Okay. So the first person to highlight a message in chat right now gets to choose 1, 2, 3, or 4. Literally, the first person to highlight a message saying 1, 2, 3, or 4, you get to choose. Someone gets shot in the last scene written. So in our training montage, someone gets shot. And 2, an out-of-place, unnecessary fart joke. It's completely unnecessary, but we have to throw it in now. 3, an out-of-place celebrity cameo of chat's choosing. So the first person who highlights a message, you get to choose a celebrity cameo, and we have to make it work, no matter who the fucking celebrity is. And 4, a gratuitously violent scene. Like, I'm not talking just a little violent, like, I'm talking fucking, we're just throwing a Saw scene in the middle of this. Yeah. Like, for absolutely no reason. Val Kilmer.
Wait, did we just get Val Kilmer?
I think we just got Val Kilmered. Okay. We just got Val Kilmer. Okay.
I have a really great celebrity cameo, actually. That's Val Kilmer being our main character.
Kind of works.
I don't know if that's a cameo.
No, that doesn't count as a cameo. We gotta have it. Fucking. We gotta have it stay the cameo.
Okay, so I think that Val Kilmer is the trainer. He is the dude that has to try and get this guy back into shape.
And we gotta have a line in there about how he used to dress up like a winged rodent and beat up criminals. You know,
back when I was an adventurer, I donned a cape and a cowl. And he's like, dude, okay, I don't care. Like, can we get to the training, please? Just way too on the nose.
Absolutely. There we go. That works. We have Val Kilmer as an out-of-place celebrity cameo. There we go.
I am going to throw my own chat decides in there too.
Okay.
And I want us to have a gratuitously violent scene as well.
You want to just throw one in there?
I think once it's revealed that this dude actually has power, he fucking annihilates like 100 demons in like the craziest way. And even the like in front of like the Archmage who is like what?
We just go full Doom, just like tearing through all these demons. Are these tearing through all these demons, and the Archmage or the Goddess of Death, whoever, is just like, okay, that was unnecessary. Like, I get you're mad, but okay, their Geneva Conventions exist.
So I think that the Goddess of Death is only like a character referred to, and then we show her at the end maybe. But I think that the main bad guy is still going to be the Archmage, but the Archmage thinks he's more powerful than this dude until like the big reveal, and then the Archmage is like, it's like he's like, I gotta be honest, I'm kind of not even that good of a mage.
Like, I can make lightning and shit come out my hands. I can bring up some fucking half zombies, but like, yeah, that's fucked, bro.
That's scary. I don't like that.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's time we get into the story. So first of all, what are our character names gonna be?
Okay, so we gotta have the protagonist. We're going fantasy with this, aren't we? So we're gonna have to like come up with some weird ass fantasy names for this.
I got an idea.
Okay.
For one. Damn it! I'm trying to find this name. So I don't know what name you want to do for the bad guy, but I had a kind of cool name for the good guy.
Okay, I'm down. Let me hear it.
I just got to make sure it's right in my lore.
It's right in your lore. Okay, I'm just gonna
so
come up with
even without the lore, my name for the good guy was Azrael.
Azrael. That sounds
Azrael, and what I had thought, I'm not sure if it's actually correct, is that in Christianity, Azrael is a fallen angel. He was an angel who had been kicked out of heaven. So I thought that was a cool idea for, he's got a cool name, but it's also a little bit ties into the
I like it.
Good guy / bad guy thing.
I don't know if that's how you spell it, but it works.
How do you spell it?
Okay, but Azrael. I like that name. That's a good name.
That's a cool name too. I just think it's a cool name.
Okay,
and then
antagonist. He's a fucking archmage. He's a wizard. He's evil. Malazor.
Malazor?
I just started saying sounds that sounded evil. Does that work? Malazor?
It actually, I like Malazor, honestly. So it's a little bit close to one of the Sith in the Star Wars Fallen Order game. His name is Malicos. So Malicos it just sounds evil shit. Malazor sounds pretty evil too. I like it.
Okay.
So it's a little bit over the top too, which I like with the idea of the story we're going with anyway.
Okay, I'm into it. So we got Azrael versus Malazor, and the thing is, now we gotta throw some side characters in.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to throw. So what are you thinking for side characters?
For side characters, well, we got Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer. Or I'm just gonna call him Cal Vilmer.
Cal Vilmer. Everyone's favorite character.
Former vigilante, known as the Rat Man of Hotham City.
He is like he'd be like the sheriff of the small town, but like it's also like when they're like, well, why don't you go do the thing, Cal? And he's just like, I don't want to. I got him. Wait, sorry, I got to see what Val Kilmer looks like right now before I start dissing him.
Yeah, I think he's aged. Yes. He's probably aged visibly. I'm not gonna say good or bad, but because like,
oh yeah, he does not want to do.
Yeah, he's not gonna do much. He's not gonna do much these days. Like a fine wine.
He is the sheriff / trainer of. He helps convince what's his face to do it, but then when asked why he won't do it, he's just like, I don't want to.
I really just rather not. Hey, he's like, do you know how much crime goes on in the small town? I gotta stay here and keep things in order. And then he just like look out at the small town, and there's like, there's no one there. There's like nothing happening. He's like, there's no fucking crime here.
I watch over the night, and he's like, dude, I know you're Ratman. I don't care. Who said I was Ratman?
Hey, listen, we know Corge Looney took over your post, and then Biston Corral did it, and then
Riston Corral.
I don't know. Okay, now we know Bobbert Rattinson is the Ratman.
Bobbert Rattinson's gonna be the new Ratman.
He's going.
But I mean,
he's going super dark with it.
Oh, fuck, I can't remember his name. I was gonna say the best Ratman was the dude who voiced all of the animated ones, but I can't remember his name.
Corge Ronroy. His name is
Corge Ronroy. There it is.
No, it's Kevin Conroy. It's Kevin Conroy.
Oh yeah, don't get him started on and Flick. That's
and
the Flick. Lustus Jeeg, my favorite movie. The Dak The Zack Snyder cut.
Oh my god.
All right, let's write this.
Rest in peace, rest in peace, Wadamest. Okay, so Calvin,
Right.
I feel like Azrael's got to have some kind of sidekick on the quest because they're generous and they've got to have someone to be the kind of comic relief / helping them the old man along to make. Well, come on, old man, can't you fucking make it up there without your walker, you old fuck? We gotta have someone be that comic relief.
Do we do classic like younger girl that takes on a daughter role in his life character?
We could, but I also feel
I know
like
it's a little we do it a lot, but
a little bit. But I feel like with some of the jokes we're gonna make, I feel like I just want to avoid putting a child through this. You know what I mean? I feel like it'd be funny if we.
Fair.
I feel like it would be funny if we put like a super bad era Jonah Hill with him for like just the
what if
the random chubby nerdy guy going along.
What
with
if
him.
we gave them an adventuring squad? So it was this dude as like this, the main guy is like this old evil paladin, and he gets put with an overbearing like archer girl who's like, you know, very like, you know, like that, like overbearing, wants to be an adventurer, wants to do good, but is like super anxious and shit, like doesn't, you know, and then we throw that with a like fuck up wizard, like a young fuck. It's like two kids that are not good at what, or not kids, but like, you know, like early 20s people that are like not great at what they do, but they want to be part of an adventuring crew, and this old man's got to be like, oh fuck, okay.
I really like that. I really like that. So hold on. So the adventure squad, anxious archer girl. What if we make those two twins? The wizard twins? Just for absolute. I don't know. Just the two nervous like 20-something wizards. What do you make them twins? That's why they're both wizards, because they're fucking twins. They're both born with the magical abilities, but they're both born with only half of the magical abilities.
Okay, I like that. Can they be? I think for twins we do. The Weasley brothers. Yeah, I like. We go. I like doing two twins, kind of like a rivalry between the two to be the better. Maybe one's fire, one's ice, but they both suck at wizarding.
I'm down for that. And much like the Weasley brothers, are we gonna have to kill one halfway through? Is that gonna be really sad? Just like kill one.
Oh, I don't know.
That was just that. We don't actually have to. That was just me making a fucking Weasley twins. One's dead joke.
Maybe, and then one absorbs the power and becomes awesome.
All I had to do to gain full wizard powers was kill my twin.
I didn't kill my brother. I just let him die so I could be a better wizard.
That's fucking dark, man. Oh, I don't like that. We should absolutely not go in that direction.
No. The thing is that they fight. The whole point of their story is that they realize that they need to if they use their powers together, then they match one full wizard. But they're so different that they won't actually combo or help each other, so their powers suck on their own.
Yeah, they're both each trying to be the awesome wizard on their own, so they're ignoring. Yeah. Okay, I'm into that. I like that. I feel like we need at least one more person to round out the adventure squad.
You want to do a 5-person adventure crew?
Yes. I feel like that brings it up to a nice even like squad instead of just the four.
What about like an edgy rogue girl? You know, like an edgy I lost my family and now all I have is dead. Like, you know, like some like really over the top and like, you know, and the whole vibe is like, damn, she's a little much. This is a lot of edge.
Yeah, one thing that I was just thinking is we're going fantasy. We should add someone of a different species in here. We should add someone who's like a dwarf or a goblin or a fucking half tree or an elf or some shit. Also,
I think that we should mix it up with the whole cast.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
I think that keeping the main character a human and then revealing that he actually, like, you know,
he's half demon or whatever.
Yeah, he's like some shit like that would be interesting. I I think make our archer girl obviously an elf, because elf archer really gets along.
Yeah, it's kind of stereotypical, but we could play with that stereotype.
I would love if the two twins, like one was a goblin and one was an orc.
Yeah,
Like-
Favin just had a comment. What the bit is? They're twins, but one's like a lizard. One's like a lizard, and the other's a wizard.
Oh my god.
I feel like having them be twins of a different race. Like one's a lizard, and the other one's just a normal human. It's like we're twins, and everyone's looking at them like,
You're not
"You
twins.
sure about that, bud? Sure about that? Okay, whatever."
I do like the idea of them like they still have like a half sorcerer's power, but it's not actually because they're twins. It's just because their birth, they were born to like a half sorcerer, half non-sorcerer family. But then they still will combined work together to like they're both like. But I
Okay.
think it'd be funny. I think
Okay.
we go orc and goblin, or like just like really. Maybe we could go human or something. But I want to do like really tall, really short, where it's like we're twin. You know, like that fucking Danny DeVito Schwarzenegger.
Okay,
movie.
yeah. So one's got to be like some kind of cat person or like 7 foot tall thing, and another one's got to be a
Yep.
dwarf. Okay.
Yep.
When a dwarf, the other is a fucking what's the super tall fantasy species? Orc or orcs tall? I don't know.
The tallest would technically be Goliaths, but Goliaths are like 9 feet tall.
Might be a little excessive.
Yeah. I would say orc.
Okay. And the dwarf, the
And
other.
I think just the world we're setting up is a world where, you know, whatever, like fantasy and stuff like that is just part of the world. Like, I don't really like it, like D&D and stuff, when they establish like orcs are ostracized and they like build racism into their stories. Like,
yeah, it gets a little
I
weird.
get it, but we're just gonna do all of the different all of the different species are like
Yeah,
it's
they're
just
all working
part of
together. They're all in one little village in the mountains. They gotta learn to get
Our
along.
world is better than the actual world, is what
Yeah.
we're saying.
Yes, we're building a fantasy utopia here.
Yep.
Okay, I had an idea for the last member of the Adventure Squad.
Yep.
Just, what if it's like Cal Vilmer's son, who's just completely fucking useless. And he's like, Dad, I don't want to go on this quest. And he's like, shut the fuck up, kid! You're going on this quest to get off my couch!
Yeah, I like I like that, but he wears a Ratman costume and he tries to be edgy to live up to Cal Vilmer's name.
I'm into it. I'm
This
into
is
it.
Cal Vilmer Jr., by the way, is his name.
Cal Vilmer Jr.
And then lastly, one last change. I want to make the orc a tall, muscular woman, because
Okay.
I like that variety, and I don't think there's enough representation of tall, muscular women. So we gotta-
Is
we
this
gotta,
just a way for you to live out your fantasy liberty? Are we just building up your
big
dream
orc
woman
woman.
here, the 6
Who
foot tall
doesn't want
jack
that?
orc woman? You just want a fucking orc version of the lady from, was it the Resident Evil game? The new 9
Yes.
foot tall lady? Yeah, he just wants an orc version of her. I knew it. I knew it.
All right, so I think we got our main cast down, but we need to kind of put some actors in some roles here.
Wait, so who are we thinking for the protagonist, Azrael? I was kind of thinking Hugh Jackman, just because I mentioned Logan earlier.
Just because of Logan, yeah, and that does work, and he also does a lot of comedies, and I think he could be pretty funny.
Okay,
I'm good with Hugh
Yeah.
Jackman. I'm good with bringing in Hugh,
I'm also good with bringing in the Jackman.
bringing in the Jackman. All right, so for a tall archer daughter who is kind of nervous.
The Elven girl. There's no shortage of.
It's got. I can already tell it's sort of manic pixie dream girl vibes. And
Almost.
so many girls do that.
For some reason, okay, this is going kind of against what you're probably visually thinking.
Yep.
I'm thinking of an actress named Beanie Feldstein. She is
gonna
Jonah
look it up.
Hill's cousin, and she kind of looks like a female Jonah Hill. Beanie Feldstein. Yes, because I saw the movie Booksmart, directed by Olivia Wilde, and she plays like a high school girl who's like graduating and she's been a super nerd, but she's like trying to like push herself to be a bit more outgoing and make friends. And she was.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
She's
I think
honestly
she'd be
hilarious. Yeah, absolutely. She's
all right. I'm good with that.
She's slowly becoming one of those actors. If I look at her, I see that she's in a comedy movie. I'm like, oh, I'll give it a shot. Why not?
All right.
So
I'll throw her in then. I like that role.
Yes.
Alrighty.
For Cal Vilmer Jr., I kind of imagine Michael Cera. He's like, guys, I don't want to go in this fight with you guys. I'm not really good at fighting.
I'm the Rat Man. So, you know, I'm the Knight, and yep.
And
I think it was Favin. I do like Michael Cera for that role. And part of why I would like that too is that Favin threw in the name Aziz Ansari, and I think that's the perfect person for the Goblin Wizard.
With the Goblin Wizard, are you talking the antagonist or one of the twins?
One of the twins.
Okay, all right.
You see what you know what I'm saying for Aziz Ansari?
I'm into it.
Funny. Like, come on, I'm just a wizard, man. Casting spells and stuff.
I'm into it. Aziz Ansari. Michael Cera for that one. Are we just slowly going to be putting in basically Hugh Jackman leading the fucking Seth Rogen, James Franco, Jonah Hill, Michael Cera crew? Because that's kind of who we're going with here. It's kind of who we've fallen in for the Adventure Squad.
Mm-hmm. And then lastly, who do we bring in as an orc lady who likes to fight?
You said tall and muscular. That kind of limits it. There's not that many tall, muscular.
Doesn't need to be that specifically, but just
true. Fucking.
Babe, what do you think?
For whatever reason, I was thinking of the one actress who was on Game of Thrones and then played Captain Phasma in Star Wars and was kind of wasted. You know what I mean?
I don't know who that is.
Oh my gosh, she's that actress.
Who would you cast as a big orc lady?
He's coming to Gary for it.
She looks very confused.
Gwendolyn Christie. Hold on. How tall is Gwendolyn Christie?
Remember, she's got to be young too.
Gwendolyn Christie is 6'3".
It's like her.
She kind of looks like Ronda Rousey, but I'm not putting fucking Ronda Rousey in my movie.
Why not? Why can't we put Ronda Rousey in the movie? What's wrong with Ronda
I
Rousey?
want to put Ronda Rousey.
Ronda, come on, man. That'd be great.
Damn it.
Do you have any better ideas? Didn't think so. Ronda Rousey is now in our movie.
I don't want Ronda Rousey to be in the movie. God damn it.
Well, we don't have any others, and we gotta get going on this plot, so...
Yes. And then I know exactly who I want my wizard to be.
Okay, who's the wizard? Who's the antagonist?
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. I'm into it.
I think Idris Elba would be hilarious as an old master wizard who's just kind of lonely. Because he's done a lot of comedy stuff. Like, he's a funny dude.
He is very funny. That one show that he was on is Bad Luck Charlie. He plays a fucking down on his luck DJ who's like living in his mom's basement or something. It's fun. He's really funny. He's a really funny dude. Idris Elba.
Carrie knows what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's great. It's great.
Lighting, so I was saying it to you saying Idris.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think he's the best cast for it. Because I think that he could play an intimidating wizard that easily gets his guard down, and then it's like, oh god. Alrighty.
That's true. I'm into it.
So let's just go through the plot, because I think now usually in the show we try and get the story on paper of through the events, what's going to happen, all that stuff. We're not going to go into depth about scripts and stuff, but more action set pieces, inciting incidents, big plot points.
Yeah. So how do we start this off? Are we going to start off with the protagonist kind of living his life, or are we going to kind of do the
I think we start off with old man Azrael just walking through the town. You know, he's looking after his little garden he's got. He's saying hi to people, but at the end of the day, he goes and sits down on his porch chair. And he's happy. Everything's simple, not a whole lot going on. It's clear that he enjoys his little life of whatever. And there really is, I think maybe point out like he looks at like his old sword on his shelf and is like, "Thank God I'm past that." I'm like even an acknowledgement of like I'm done with adventuring and I'm glad to be. It's like almost like I just retired and I'm kind of.
We see him living his life. This is his everyday, and he's very at peace with it.
Mm-hmm.
He's very at peace with it. Okay, so then I think now's the time for the protagonist intro, or the antagonist intro. I mean.
Okay, yeah. Actually, maybe we start with the I think we start with the antagonist intro first.
Okay.
I think we start showing the journey of the wizard doing this evil thing that incites the whole movie, and then we go to the protagonist is living his life. He's happy, but clearly we've shown something's going to happen, so we know his life is going to blow up.
Okay. So, Malazar the Archmage is going on his own adventure, and he goes and steals the fucking gem, the seal. What are we going to call this thing? Because as a plot device, it has to be something that's holding back.
It's called the key. It's a gem, and it's called the key to Hell's Gate or something like that.
The key to the Hellgate key.
Sure, the Hellgate key.
Okay.
Kind of demonic looking. Maybe it's like a weirdly fleshy gem or something. Because you know how like demonic stuff is always weird as shit.
Okay.
So it's like that. It shows that he is an adventurer though. Like he gets through the traps and all that stuff and finally gets there. And then he's like, at last the power will be mine or something. He's like, these people will stop living their life of peace. And they will bow down to me. And then it's like just like echoes in there, and Idris Elba's on his own. So like, it's like, damn, I sound a lot more evil than I thought I did. I don't know. Like, there's just a little bit of self-awareness from Idris Elba's character. Like right away, we're showing off the bat that he's over dramatic, but he's just like, he's like talking to himself. He's like, I gotta work on my monologues, man. They're not hitting like they want them to.
Yeah, and he says to everyone's like, dude, do my monologues need an audience? People to hear them? Nah. And he just like walks away.
Nah, I like him like this. So we introduce him. We show that he stole the thing. He very clearly announces that he's evil, but then also immediately like he talks about why he's announcing to himself because he's just like, God damn, I need friends or something. And then inciting incident that shows the bad is going to happen. But then we, hard cut do the title, which we do at the end of the movie, but we don't, or at the end of the show. So we show and Fabin, it's not a fourth break wall where he like looks at the audience. It's more like the character self acknowledges the sadness of monologuing to nobody.
Yeah, he's just straight talking to himself. And we're just watching him talk to himself. It's not breaking the fourth wall.
Mm-hmm. It's more just about this character just talks to himself because he doesn't have anybody there to talk to. Because when he is breaking into the temple, there is traps and stuff, but there is no demons that have been let out yet. He basically, by opening the thing, it slowly opens the door and then demons come later. But there's nothing for him to fight yet. He just kind of grabs the thing and then goes on his own way.
Yes. So that's when we cut to old man Azrael living his life. He's happy. He's happy in his isolated mountain village with his simple life, his garden, just chilling.
I think early on we maybe as he's doing that, he's like walking through the town and he sees like Ratman Jr. like apprehending a bread thief, and the bread thief is like, I'm not a bread thief, I just bought this bread. And like the vendor's like, yeah, he did buy the bread. And then Cal Vilmer's like, no, but like I thought you took it. I'm sorry. And like just being bad at it, he's just like, oh my god, what a fuck up. Like we acknowledge maybe some of the other characters along the way without putting them on the team yet. It's just like these are the characters in his world, and he acknowledges they're kind of lame. Okay,
I mean, so it's like introducing the village as a whole. We introduce him, and then we introduce the village as a whole, following him like on his day to day.
And you see, maybe he has pleasant interactions with some of the villagers, like with the older people. He like, says like, hey, how they're doing. He like maybe flirts with an older lady, something like that, because that's what Hugh Jackman would do. But then clearly the youth of the town, he's just so over because they're just fucking the like worst, like trying to be a band of adventurers.
Yeah.
Like maybe they are like an adventurers guild already, those people, but they're just the worst. Like maybe it's not like a team up, it's like he has to bring the town adventuring guild, which is these kids that are awful, with him on the adventure, and he's just like, oh, I don't want to do that. So maybe I think we meet the guild as a whole, like trying to like do something in the middle of town, but it's clearly like they're like see the character traits of them all interacting with like the crowds, but it's also like basically everybody's like, man, these people are losers. So while he's being around the town, we get introduced to the Heroes Guild, these people that are part of it, but it's introduced to them in a way that everybody's like, man, these people are the worst.
Okay,
what are your thoughts?
I really love that. If we have the adventure squad, the people that he's going with, kind of already be banded together as a team, that would make it easier to introduce all of them together, and it would kind of give them a reason that they're already all together.
We don't need to do putting a team together thing. We can have established relationships between them, and then also we don't need to do like a half-assed intro of each character, like this is blank. I found her doing this, and she could do this. Like, you know.
Yeah, we
still have something like that, but they'll be part of a team, so it's already preset relationships, preset chemistry.
Okay, I'm into that. I have a couple ideas on how to get the plot moving as with the main plot, and kind of giving more reason to why it falls down to Azrael and the Heroes Guild. Yeah. What if the town is attacked by the demons that are now loose, that the wizard completely set free? So then, the big first action scene, the village is attacked by demons, the entire town's guard and all of the main fighters are fucking just murked. All of them. Like, we have this whole setup thing of like, here come the town guards, and then all these like just jagged people like come up and they're just looking heroic as fuck. They're looking good, they're like, oh, they're here to save the day. All of them dead. Just fucking. Oh no! Like everyone in the town is like,
those guys.
Everyone in the town is like, oh, thank God, we're here. Oh fuck! And then there's like everyone in the town just starts freaking out again, and then that's when we start to introduce Azrael pulling the sword out, and he has to defend the town, and that would be like the introduction to him being an actual badass.
I think that Azrael pulls the sword out after seeing, like, he thinks, oh, the town's guards got it, like they fought monsters before. But then he sees what the monsters actually are. And he recognizes the demons or whatever. So he's just like, but like, you know, it's not that specific. He just kind of, there is a beat of him seeing that there's a difference in this. And then he pulls out the sword. And then I think that he thwarts the attack of the town, not by badassly killing everything, but just by killing like one of the demons, and then all of the demons look at the sword that killed the demon, and we're like, oh fuck, like that sword means something.
Okay, I like that. Like his sword is the fucking Demon Slayer sword or Angel Slayer sword, like whatever he would have.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
So he does that, and then basically like, everyone in the town, like everyone's hiding when he does that, but then they see the people leave. They don't know that like Azrael necessarily did it, but maybe they come out and Azrael's out there with the sword, and they're like, did you kill them all? And he's like, oh, I don't know what happened. They all just kind of ran away. Like, it was weird. Like, he does know what happens, but he's gonna pretend that he doesn't.
Yes. Okay, I'm into that. So that gives them a reason to think, okay, he might be helpful, but they're still not totally into it at that point.
And then maybe who would know about the reasoning behind the demon attacks other than Azrael? Because I think Azrael would know.
I feel like at this point, so Malazor is fucking over dramatic. He's got a flair for the dramatic. He was giving monologue to no one before. Now he's going to give monologue to people as the demons are attacking. He's going to come out and announce that it was him. I feel like this character.
Okay, I like that.
He would straight up say, "Yeah, I did this. This is my doing, and unless you give me what I want, I'm gonna allow this to continue to happen." basically. He's like trying to hold the town hostage, basically.
Yeah. I am the mighty Malazor, and they're just like,
What?
who? And he's like, Malazor, man, come on.
No, he's like
Anywho.
he's like up on a rooftop, like 50 feet away. I am the mighty Malazar, and everyone in the town's like, what?
Can you guys not? Okay, I'll come down, and then he just
He's
flies
like,
down.
they're just like yelling at each other from across the town, but he's too far away.
And it's like he's talking to everybody, and he's just like, unless you give me what I want, I shall keep this town being plagued by monsters. They're just like, well, what do you want? And he's like,
I didn't actually think I'd get this far.
I will tell you.
Usually when you monologue to no one speaks back, so I didn't expect this to be a Q&A.
Yeah, I got like time to think about stuff. Like when I say get what I want, I just kind of left it up to interpretation. But I want you to suffer, and they're like, you're not like they're
You're a bad
constantly
villain, man.
questioning. Yeah, they're constantly as villainous and stuff. He's like, fuck. He's like, I unleashed demons on you guys. Like I'm doing decent, okay. He's just the sad trying to be a villain.
I'm into it. I really like it.
All right. So maybe what does he finally rest on as what he wants? Maybe he's like, you need to take it from me. If you can conquer me in battle in my own castle, then I shall save your puny land, and then like teleports away or something like that. And like, oh fuck, we have to fight this guy in castle, and we have to go conquer this dude, and everyone's dead.
I wasn't sure at first, but I have an idea to kind of use that. They agree to it, but then so Azrael goes to fight him. He goes to fight him in battle, but what he does is he has the hero squad pull a fucking heist. They burglarize the thing and they steal the key. Like they steal the key from wherever Malazor has it kept, and then they run away with it. And then they have to go put it back on the seal, close the gate with the key while he's chasing them. And that's the main plot of the movie they're trying to run away from the wizard.
My idea was instead that the main plot of the movie is that he has to lead this hero squad in an adventure up the mountains of death or whatever to where this dude's lair is, and then the final confrontation be between Malazar and the people, and then basically like him returning the key and stuff like that is part of like the summarizing the movie. But the movie's about the journey to fight Malazar and then fighting Malazar, the battles along the way. That's the way I saw it.
Okay. I kind of imagined it more as because they have to go on that journey. Okay. You know what? Yours makes more sense now I think about it. I'm not going to go into what mine was, but yours makes more sense.
I do like the idea of the racing towards the gate. I do like that, but I kind of felt like with the party now, they don't want to be split. They kind of need the mentorship of Azrael. But he's not.
I wasn't even thinking like the castle be the end goal. Like that was still at the journey. Like that was still like basically in the village. Like that was going to be the next scene. They weren't going to journey to the castle to Malazor's castle. Okay, that was basically just going to be the next scene, and then the journey be to the gate.
I do like the journey to like the gate.
Okay, what if we just get rid of the castle completely? What if right then and there, as they're giving the fucking monologue, Azrael realized like he sees the key. He sees that Malazor has the key, and then he tells the hero squad, "You need to fucking pickpocket him. You need to get that shit. I'm gonna fight him and distract him. Just trust me. Grab it, and we gotta go." And that's the start of their journey. They're escaping the fight with Malazor when he was like distracting him. They pickpocket him, grab the key, and they all run. And that's the start of the journey. So they got to go with the wizard chasing them.
I got an idea too. So my idea, to counter your idea, is that Azrael's like, he's like, if you could defeat me in combat, you get the key or whatever. So Azrael's like, fuck, okay, I'll fight him. And he's going to go fight him. And then the team is like, don't worry, old man, we got this. And they all line up to fight him. And then Malazar kicks the shit out of the young team, dummies them with magic and stuff. And then Malazar's like, that's the best you have? Your group of... And then fucking Azrael just decks him in the face, like fucking bonks him, and then just takes the key and he's just like, okay, I'm gonna go put this back. Like, he's like, reluctantly, he's like, nobody knows. He's like, I'm gonna go do this, whatever. But then the rest of the journey is the Adventure Guild hikes up to him to support him, and they want to like learn to be an adventurer like him. But he's just like, I'm just kind of, he's like reluctantly, he doesn't want them to be there. He doesn't need them to be there. But then also you have Malazar, who is like, he's like, what the hell was that? He's like, that was a cheap shot. That wasn't fair. Like, he's like, that was not a fucking combat. So it's like Malazar's pissed off and he's trying to on their tail because he just wants to. He didn't even get to use magic against this dude, so he wants like a rematch, basically.
That is the best one yet, because my main concern about your suggestion was that I wanted the journey to be the main thing. So like what we were still in the village with the fight, that still had to be like the inciting incident, and the journey be the main part of the plot. So like as long as that happens there, as long as they are now on that journey with the wizard chasing them, the squad with the key being chased by the wizard, that works.
But the squad is now comprised of a bunch of people that got their ass kicked by the wizard. One dude who just one-punched the wizard because the wizard wasn't paying attention. Like, he literally, like, as the wizard's, like, turned to monologuing, he just decks him in the back of the head. Like, he just fucking... And then just takes it. And he's like... He looks to the town, he's like, guys, I'm gonna go put this back. I'll be back. And then the squad runs up to catch up with him. But then when Malazar finally wakes up, he's kind of like pissed off, and he's like, "That was a cheap shot." Like, he's like specifically like, "That wasn't even a fair fucking fight." Like, I want my rematch.
I think you were gonna come at me with a sword or use a spell. I didn't think you were gonna fucking sucker punch me. Oh, my jaw, man! It wasn't fair.
So he does that, and then it's like this journey. Then from there on, the journey is they have to fight minions and shit. But it's he literally, he doesn't want the team there because he's like, you guys are just gonna get your asses kicked here. Like, I'm fine on my own. They're like, no, we need to help you, old man. Just because you got a lucky punch doesn't mean you don't need the Adventurers Guild with you.
Punches that one in the face. Whoever said that, he just punches them in the face. There's just a scene. There's just a scene where Azrael is just like. There's just a scene where the Avengers Guild is like talking shit to him for being an old man. He just punches them in the face. Why you just like punch him in the face? That doesn't prove. Punch in the face. And this is like happens over and over again. He's just punching them in the face repeatedly.
He's like, hey, if you say anything, I will punch you in the face, and you know that I will because I just punched him in the face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
But bam.
Yes, sir. Bam.
And then maybe along their journey, we learn more about the characters. We also learn a little bit more about his backstory as an adventurer. He never reveals the true evilness behind it and his power, but
I'm into it.
I think from there on out, some of the action set pieces would be them fighting like demons, different monsters and stuff. But Azrael would be trying not very hard.
Okay.
I'm wondering why the demons would be scared of the sword originally, but then not as scared later.
Maybe they're still scared, but they're maybe they don't fight too many demons up to this point. Maybe the for now it's just them fighting the wilderness. It's them coming up against medieval set piece versus medieval set piece versus think of every other fucking Skyrim side quest you could do. It's just like that kind of shit happens to them.
Okay.
A handful of times it's like, oh fuck, this guy needs help with fighting fucking cave spiders. I guess we gotta help him. Oh no, this fucking bridge is being blocked by a cave troll. Oh no.
And then meanwhile, like, I think Malazar, he's like on his own path, like chasing them, but also we show parts of him where he's just like contemplating everything and stuff. And I think like kind of showing his power a little bit, like he'll get jumped by stuff and he'll just like magically just like lightning blast it and whatever, but he's like still like, that's not his struggle, is the battle. His struggle is mentally, he's like, maybe I'm not that good of a wizard. He's like, I thought I was really evil, but like, he's like, I lost pretty easily. Like, It's
And
like this internal
I didn't even
struggle
know
of
what I
this-
needed. I didn't even know what I wanted from the village. Like, I haven't thought this through. What's
It's like,
my career
do I even
goals?
want to be the bad guy? I kind of just want to fight this guy because he beat me.
What are my career goals? What's my 5-year plan for the evil wizard thing here?
It's like, I used to be a botanist. I used to work with flowers. I don't know what's going on. So I think that's the two journeys. Is he is trying to catch up with them because he wants to do his evil plan, but he just questions himself as an evil wizard and what it means and what he gets out of it. He's often talking to like animals and shit that just don't respond to him, and he's like, oh, whatever.
Okay. The one thing that I got to bring up here that I just noticed, the way we have our plot written is it's missing the training montage.
Oh.
Yes. So we gotta fucking launch a training montage.
We fuck it up then. Azrael leads a training montage of training the dudes on how to be adventurers. They finally break him down, and he does a training montage on how they can become better adventurers.
Yes. So it's Azrael leading training the hero squad.
They get stuck in a cave during a storm, like a winter storm. And they're just like in there with no and they're like talking about stories and stuff, and he's like, it's gonna be at least like a day of just like waiting around, whatever. Like, but he's like, we can't travel uphill in this. So then they're like, well, if you're such a great adventure, like teaches like they're trapped somewhere for a day. So a day of their journey is they need to he gives them tips, gives them lessons, and like does like a little training montage on how they can be better adventurers. And this is when somewhat of a bond starts between the guild and Azrael.
Yes. I'm into it. The beginning of their bonding. So I think that's gonna give it. I feel like we can just kind of generally say there's all these action sequences. There's the training montages. We gotta get like what's gonna build us towards our climax. Do they get to the gates? Does Malazor confront them before they get to the gates? As they get to the gates?
I think that the Malazor confrontation is when it's going to be revealed about Azrael's past. So I think that should happen. There's going to be some sort of a confrontation after that reveal of his past.
Okay.
So maybe it is at the gates where, like, maybe not the... Like, there's a temple they have to go inside to put the key into. But maybe when they're outside of the temple, that's when they meet Malazor.
Okay. What if the reveal comes from the Goddess of Death? What if the reveal comes from the Goddess of Death, like coming through the gates, surrounded by demons, and she looks at Azrael and goes, "Hello, Azrael," and everyone in the hero squad is like, "What? How does she know who you are?" And that's when that plot twist comes out of like, "Oh yeah, he used to be my fucking right hand man, slaying angels and taking over the earth."
I got it then. So they get into the temple. They're getting close to where they have to put in the key, and then that's when Malazar shows up, and then they're like, "Malazar, how'd you get here first?" And he's just like, "I'm really surprised you guys didn't beat me." He's like, I basically just walked the entire time. And they're like, "How'd you get through the mountain with the snow?" And he's just like, "Oh, I brought snowshoes." I bring snowshoes to every adventure. You never know when they're going to come in handy. Like, he basically just beats them there, not out of magic, but just out of... He just brought snowshoes. But at that confrontation, he's like, give me the key and no one gets hurt. I think Azrael kind of says there, like, he's like, dude, you don't even understand the power that this thing holds. Malazar's like, I know what power it holds, okay? It's an ancient magic relic. And demons show up when you grab it. So I know what it does. You know. So I think there they have the fight with Malazar, but they win the fight due to due not as much to Azrael, but because of his training with them and helping them, they learn lessons and apply those lessons to help beat Malazar.
Yes, that makes sense. Basically with the power of friendship. They won with the power of friendship. That always works.
They don't kill Malazar, they just defeat him. And Malazar's like, worthy fighters. He's like, maybe you've proved me wrong. And he's like, and maybe I am not ready to be an evil wizard yet. Or like he is like, you guys are noble warriors, but he's also like, maybe I didn't make the best career choice.
Like, I didn't actually think about what I wanted. I just I just started being a wizard, and then one day I started shot lightning. I thought it was badass. Everyone thought it was evil, so I guess I just played to it.
And then maybe that's when a goddess of death shows up. She says, like, Azrael, my old friend, it's good to see you return. And then they're like, old friend. And then Malazar's like, old friend. Even he's like, he's there confused too. Like, what the fuck? And maybe that's, he reveals about his past and stuff like that. So they're kind of, I don't know, what would character reactions be to that? Because that's a big reveal that he used to be like a fucking conqueror of death.
That would be. I feel like now that would be the time for another big fight scene. Like the one with Malazar would be like kind of a fight, would be like a pretty big fight scene, and then we would have to have like the final top one. Like the final real true climax would be the goddess of death coming through with all the demons. So basically, they all have to start. What we did was we had the team start apart and then like come together for the fight against Malazar. The team has to like break apart and learn to fight together again in the middle of this fight. So they got to be slaying demons, yelling at each other, like, Azrael, how could you do this? How could you fight with the goddess of death? And he's like, it's just what I knew. I'm sorry. And they got to like yell at each other and be not really helping each other out.
I think that he starts to get, like, it looks like he's being persuaded by the goddess of death to, like, join her again. And then, like, the demons are coming in, and they're mad at Azrael, and the demons are overflowing them. Stuff like that. And they're just like, I can't believe he'd do this. And, like, they're, like, all, like, maybe they're getting hounded, they're gonna die, like, all of them. And then a demon that's on top of them gets sliced in half, and we see Azrael in full-ass, like, angel gear. Basically, he hit his Super Saiyan that came with the sword or whatever, and he's just like, I'm not that person anymore. And then that's when we see him go fucking crazy and kill like 100 demons with like the fucking whatever Slayer, and everybody's like, holy shit. Up until this point, he was like an old retired dude, and then it's like he has his moment of like, to them, like, they're like, what the fuck, he betrayed us, and he's like, that's not who I am anymore. And then maybe it can end on like, okay, that was complicated, but you did save us, so that's a step in the right direction, you know?
Yeah.
But I think, like, we did this whole movie about him being a reluctant whatever, and then reveal at the end when they thought that he had betrayed them, who his true form was, and it was this ultimate demon killer form, basically.
Yeah, I'm into it. I like that, and I think that brings us to the ending, actually. I think you just took us right into the ending.
Mm-hmm. I think that it revealed that he's not tempted by the goddess of death anymore. He says, he's like, yeah, I still got shit to deal with, but he's like, I'm not that person anymore. They put the key back. I think Malazar kind of gets like a happy ending in a way.
Yeah,
I don't know.
What if he starts fighting with them against the demons?
I think he does. He definitely does, like, during the demon fight. And maybe he uses some of his magic to, like, save them. Whatever. And I think that he still goes to, like, jail, but he's actually happier in the town prison because he's, like, gets to talk to people and shit.
Yeah.
And, like, he's friends with, like, a different prisoner and stuff. And it's like a weird, it's like, well, he's like, I have still an all powerful mage, and I still, like, have people to talk to.
He's like teaching the prisoners, like, very basic magic.
Yeah.
He's like helping them with their co-op programs in the prison. He's being very good for them.
Oh god, I like that. So he doesn't just get away scot-free for unleashing hell. He still goes to like the town jail, but it's, you know, he gets cut a little bit of slack.
Yeah.
I think that maybe, yeah, and then Azrael just kind of helps the group from there on out.
I'm into it. He's helping them be real adventurers and real soldiers, helping protect the town and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I like it, and I think that's a great ending for it. What do you have in terms of a title for this?
Oh, I don't know. I think that there's a lot of characters. It's kind of a generic adventure movie. I think that it needs to have like a sort of a generic action movie name. You know what I mean? Like nothing too specific.
Nothing specific. Okay, I was gonna go the opposite. I was gonna go real specific, like Azrael and the Hellgate Key or something. Or it's fantasy, so like why not? But okay, something vague and
No, I like.
unspecific.
What about Azrael and the Gates of Hell? That rhymes though.
Azrael and the Gates of Hell. I like it. I think Heroes Squad and the Gates of Hell. We just name it after the fucking. They look like the B characters at the start. Oh no. Azrael v Malazor.
Dawn of Justice. The naming part is honestly like the hardest part.
Yeah,
Always when
really.
we get to it.
You know, I actually think Azrael and the Gates of Hell isn't bad. I think it's not
I
bad.
think so too. I like it.
Oh, Super
Eric,
Reds just
there's-
came in. Sorry, I'm late. Quick synopsis, please. Okay, it's an old.
Okay.
It's an action comedy fantasy movie in which an older man is living in a village. All of the town's guard are killed by an evil wizard who brought all these demons from the Gates of Hell, and then they steal the key to go seal the Gates of Hell back up. And then they go do it. They bring the wizard back over the good time. Plot twist: the good guy the entire time was actually a former fucking assassin, right-hand man guy working for the goddess of death. He has a little bit of temptation, but then turns good in the end. Helps his squad and the wizard seal up the Gates of Hell. They stop all the demons coming through.
Yep.
happy
There's a ton of
ending.
deep lore.
Yes, going deep.
And Hugh Jackman is in it. That's all you need to
Hugh
know.
Jackman.
You're gonna go
Idris
see it.
Elba.
Hugh Jackman's in it. You're gonna go see it.
Hugh Jackman, Idris Elba, Beanie Feldstein, Aziz Ansari, and Michael Cera, and Val Kilmer as a cameo, of course. Sounds ridiculous.
We didn't even write in the Val Kilmer cameo, but
No, we
he
did.
shows
He's the
up there
sheriff. He's the
eventually.
sheriff. Oh yeah, we didn't even really write it in. He would just kind of be there. Shit, we didn't specific.
he
Okay.
is though. He's in it.
Okay,
He shows up.
We need to write something specific about in the synopsis. Killing all of the town's
Val
guard.
Kilmer shows up and says, "I'm not fighting that," and then runs back.
I like it. Val Kilmer shows up and runs away. There you go.
Yep.
Val Kilmer runs up
We
and
see
shows
him
away.
at the end of the movie in the jail, hanging out with Malazar.
Absolutely. And I think that is Azrael and the Gates of Hell. I think that might as well
It
be
is.
what we call it.
If you want to make it a movie, what do we ask for? 30% each, I believe.
Yeah, 30%
Revenue?
each. 30% each.
Box office revenue.
Absolutely. All right. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. We had a very good
Yeah, I
night.
know, it was a fun one.
That was a real fun one. I'm looking forward to next week. We're gonna have a theme or something, right? We haven't said specifically what, but we're gonna have a theme for next week.
No, and I think that's something moving on. We're just thinking about doing is kind of throwing in themed episodes just to keep it a little live, keep it a little different,
Yeah.
so that we can have, I mean, we still have a crazy focus during this, but just a tad more focus in a certain direction. So
Absolutely.
next week we'll be mixing it up a little bit. As always, I am Liberty,
And I'm Colin.
and we will see you guys later.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye bye.